Alright, so this is kind of going to be a long reading about Jeffree Star and his ex-boyfriend Nate Schwandt. I think that's how you say his last name. I know this is kind of random, but I was just curious about these two. I asked a lot of questions, as you can see. And I got a lot of information. So I'm going to tell you each question I asked, then we're going to interpret the cards together. I'll give you the meaning of each card. And then that way, if you want to comment, you can let me know what you think the cards were saying. But okay, let's start. Now I have to remember exactly what I just asked. Okay, so the first one was, why did Jeffree and Nate really break up? And then I asked, how does Nate currently feel about Jeffree? Then I asked, how does Jeffree currently feel about Nate? Then I asked, did Nate really love Jeffree when they were together? And then I asked, what's going to happen in the future between Nate and Jeffree? And then I asked, what is going on with Nate and his new girlfriend? And then we have the end of the deck card. Okay, so this is a lot. Let's try to get through this. We're going to start with, why did they break up? Already, I can kind of tell what it's saying. It looks like Nate wanted to step away from the limelight, but let's get into more of exactly how he was feeling. But it definitely looks like right off the bat that he wasn't a big fan of being under the spotlight, and he just wanted like a normal life. It also looks like he wanted to go back to dating girls, to be honest, with judgment there. But okay, reversed Four of Swords. So when the Four of Swords reverses, the timeout message is enforced. So you may have to take time away from work or other responsibilities due to influences out of your control. Unfortunately, there's little you can do to alter the situation, so you must surrender to events. This is the phase, and the message is to find peace. Use the time positively. You may need to rethink your working arrangements or come to terms with changes in a relationship, particularly if you live apart from a partner or potential love. Okay, what's kind of weird about this is it's saying you have to take time away due to influences out of your control. I wonder what those influences are, because it looks like Nate just wanted to step away, and it was more of Nate wanting to break up. So I wonder if this is about when it says forces outside of your control. I wonder if it's talking about Jeffree. So like he couldn't really do anything to stop it because Nate was already, checked out. Let's do Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups reversed. What are you holding on to? Take stock. Are you clinging into the past when you really do know that your current living situation has to change? When reversed, the Eight of Cups shows error of judgment, so you jump too soon or stay too long, unable to see that there's an alternative way to do things. At this point, there's no logical solution. Like the Eight of Cups, Spear of Hod for the mind and its strategies, an intellectual approach might make you feel in control, but the way ahead is to follow your instincts. Timing is important now, so trust yourself that you will know the right time to move on without self-pressure. Ooh, an additional meaning of the card is being abandoned, leaving you confused as others move on from you with undignified haste. So it definitely seems like Nate broke up with Jeffree here. I don't know if he has said that. I don't know too much about what he has and hasn't said about the breakup. But it looks like this was Nate's prompting. I think Nate, like you could see the Ace of Cups, that's a new beginning. The Fool, that's leaping into a new lifestyle, like livelihood, life in general. So it looks like Nate really wanted to get out of this. Jeffree didn't. He still wanted to be together. It also looks like Nate wanted to leave long before he actually left, which is kind of unfortunate that he stayed around so long when he didn't want to. But yeah, it looks like most of it from the vibe I'm getting is Nate didn't like the public eye, and Nate wanted to live a more traditional lifestyle, and I think it was with a woman, because judgment makes me think that Nate is comes from a pretty traditional and religious background. That's what I'm getting. Okay. Now let's move on to how does Nate currently feel about Jeffree? So the Queen of Cups upright, that's going to be positive, but let's see what the Page of Swords reversed is, because there's some negativity here. It's like, hold on. Oh no. Okay, Page of Swords. When reversed, this clever Page of Swords becomes manipulative and cunning. Be cautious about information you receive now, as it may not be reliable, and be discerning about what you hear about other people, as it may be unjust and even slanderous. As a person, the reverse Page of Swords can be a gossip who seems to care little about misconception he spreads. At his worst, he can be devious and unscrupulous. Ignore his needs for constant attention. Don't fuel his fire. Looks like Nate, although he views Jeffree in a positive light, because you can see the king and the queen here, there's elements of Jeffree's personality that Nate is kind of fearful of. One of them is Jeffree's ability to control the narrative. So he doesn't want Jeffree to say anything about him. So that's why he's keeping kind of silent himself. He doesn't want anything coming out that he doesn't want revealed. He seems like a very private person, which now makes sense why he wanted out of the limelight. Okay, Page of Pentacles reversed. When the Page of Pentacles is reversed, there may be unwelcome news regarding finances or property. Unlike the responsible upright page, the card in this position means extravagance and irresponsibility rule. You may suffer due to someone else's selfish actions. This may apply to young people you live with or to friends with immature tendencies. The card can also apply to a person with a sense of entitlement who helps himself to what is yours. While this is not necessarily theft, it is underhanded. Observe and take note for future reference. So, hold on a minute. Immature tendencies. So, it seems to me, this is just what I'm getting here, Nate actually does view Jeffree currently pretty positively, because we got two, like I said, queen and king up here. When he thinks back on this relationship, he thinks of it fondly. He thinks that Jeffree did a lot for him. He thinks they were kind of like a power couple. But the weird thing here is, like, he kind of feels like Jeffree felt entitled to him. And Jeffree could be, like, a little scary with his power. Not like that he would use it against Nate, but in the sense where he'll never say anything bad about Jeffree because he's scared of what Jeffree would say about him. But it doesn't even look like he has much bad to say about Jeffree, if I'm being honest. Because it looks like he views him as, like, he was pretty generous and took care of him. And it looked like two people on their throne. It's almost like Jeffree kind of treated him at times like an equal, but then also felt entitled to him. So Nate didn't like that aspect. But yeah, interesting. So it's like he views him positively, but he can acknowledge the negative sides of Jeffree. But he'll never do it publicly, I don't think. I think Nate is, even though I heard he was, like, kind of a cheater, I don't know if that's true, I don't see it here, but I didn't ask about it. But I was going to say, even though that happened, I also think Nate is probably, it looks like he's pretty loyal as far as, like, I don't want to say friendship, but I guess Nate just seems like a loyal person. Like, he wouldn't turn on someone, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now this is, what does Jeffree feel about Nate? I'm going to start with the Hanged Man. And it's the Hanged Man reversed. So, let's see. The Hanged Man reverse could be a sign of rigid thinking and martyrdom. You may need to revise your expectations. What you think you want may not be possible. In this position, the card asks if you are hanging onto a fantasy that may make you a victim rather than a victor. Take another view and liberate yourself from a contract or other obligation that cannot offer you what you want. I think he's a little hung up on Nate still, is what I'm getting here. He's a little hung up on him. He kind of is, like, thinks that at some point they'll maybe in the future get back together. Looks like he really had a lot of true feelings for Nate. So 7 of Cups reversed. The reverse 7 of Cups has much the same meaning as the upright card, but here extreme emotions are in play. Be aware of the danger of idealizing a situation and avoiding a difficult truth. In relationships, the card can mean being deceived by appearances. A new lover may not be faithful. This is not the right time for commitment. Avoid becoming embroiled in the drama. Step back until your options are clear. Okay, guys. This is kind of interesting because when I asked how Nate felt about Jeffree, it was kind of just like, it wasn't like too much of an emotional response. But when you ask what Jeffree feels about Nate, it's very emotional. Like, he's still hanging on. He kind of used like what they had as the ideal, and he's still hung up on it. It's kind of like he wants a new, I don't want to say like he wants a new Nate, but he wants a situation similar to what he had. He definitely misses him. Let's see, 6 of Cups reversed. When the 6 of Cups is reversed, nostalgia rules and you may recall past events with more positivity than they deserve. The card can also show you feeling locked in the past as a way to avoid moving on. That's what I just said. He's hung up. A particular relationship needs to stay in the past rather than be revived. Unexpected visitors or communication may stir up old memories, and if so, let the memories arise. These people have no place in your future just now. So it looks like they may start talking again at some point, or they may even be talking now. And Jeffree still has this belief that him and Nate are going to end up together, but I don't think that's the case. I think he needs to let it go, but I think it's hard for him. Nate has definitely moved on, but Jeffree hasn't. Jeffree still seems to be, I don't want to say in love, because I doubt he's like still in love, but he still has very strong feelings for Nate. He thinks about him a lot. He thinks about what they had a lot, and he wishes he still had it. Okay, what else did we ask? Okay, we asked, did Nate really love Jeffree when they were together? We're going to start with the 8 of Pentacles reversed. So the reversed 8 of Pentacles can show that you're feeling trapped. This may be because you've chosen an educational course that isn't for you and doesn't develop your particular talents or reflect your interests enough to be sustainable long term. In work, you may know you're only doing the job for the money. While this may be acceptable on a short-term basis, long-term it feels soul-destroying. While supporting yourself financially, it may be time to look elsewhere rather than let the situation continue. As a prediction card, the 8 of Pentacles shows the cycle is about to come to an end. So rather than wait for this to happen, conserve your energy and direct it toward finding a new career. Don't resign yourself to your present situation if there's no sense of achievement or appreciation. Okay, that's kind of sad. Looks like he did not love Jeffree for real. It does look like he was in this for the money, even though I know they've said before that he wasn't. It looks like he was in it for the money. I know they tried to say before, like, oh, Jeffree didn't even have any money when him and Nate were together. I kind of think that's bullshit, because Jeffree has been someone since the MySpace days, and he has had makeup for a long time. So it's not like how would Nate have just found him out of nowhere on Instagram when Jeffree was a MySpace celebrity? Meaning he already had clout. So it's not like Jeffree and Nate just stumbled on each other. No, like, I think Nate probably lied. Nate did know who Jeffree was. Nate was in this for, like, the money. I don't want to say the clout, because he's a very private person. He was in it for, like, the wealth and the mutually beneficial things that happened. But Nate's heart was not in it. It even says it was soul destroying for him. I don't think Nate was, I don't want to, like, speak on his sexuality, but I think he was more, I think he would just prefer to be with a girl. I don't think he ever really wanted to be with anyone that wasn't a woman. That's just what I'm getting here. But let's see, Temperance reversed. Temperance reverse shows imbalance and unfairness in relationships and problems with money. What you pour into your relationship and work isn't rewarded. This card can also show you struggling with change and the past dominating your present and future. In this position, difficult old memories can resurface and you feel held back. Try to look at what you need now in the present. Yeah, I definitely feel like Nate was only in this for the money. He never was really that emotionally invested or involved, even if it seemed like he was. He always felt like he was kind of living a lie. I think when it talks about problems with money, it means Nate's own problems with money, as in he didn't want to leave because he felt like him and his family were being taken care of, and to leave so soon would have ended all that they were receiving. I'm not saying Nate's a gold digger, by the way, so please don't take that like that. But I just think, I guess he is kind of would be a gold digger in this scenario, but it just doesn't seem malicious. Although I think he thought he could feel something for him, and he got with him, and he tried, but it never fully reached what he thought it could. You know how they always said Nate was straight? That's just the overall meaning here. Nate is straight. Also, Nate seemed to have felt trapped in that relationship because he wanted to move on much sooner than he actually did. Okay, now this is when I asked what about Nate and his new girlfriend? What's going on with them? You guys, I think they might have a baby. Look at this. I think she might be pregnant, or they're trying to get pregnant. But I think looks like there's a baby in their future, in their immediate future too. But they don't look too happy because, let's see. Reverse Nine of Cups. When reversed, ego steps in. And with it, self-centeredness and emotional disconnection. This can manifest as smugness. More commonly in readings, the Nine reverse tells a tale of narcissism. Can anyone tell me what his girlfriend's sign is? Is she a Pisces? Someone let me know, please. It says you are faced with others' inability to see beyond their own immediate needs. This influence can infect personal and professional relationships, which suffer as others forge ahead with their agendas for short-term gain, leaving you bruised. However, it's also worth asking yourself if you are the one always striving for recognition, sidelining others in the process. In personal and business projects, uncertainty rules due to misunderstandings, and your plans may be delayed. Creativity can suffer at this time too, with stop-start, stop frustration. Focus on maintaining balance and routine to help you navigate these difficult waters, and hold on to those dreams and schemes. This may not be the right time now for new ideas to flourish, but this doesn't diminish your worth or the strength of your concepts. Take extra care of yourself in your relationship now, as energy levels may be low. Hibernate a little until that spark returns. You guys, I honestly think they're trying to have a baby, or they're going to have one, and I don't know. There's a little bit of negativity in this relationship, but it doesn't seem that bad. Hold on. Knight of Pentacles. But yeah, it looks like they're trying to start a family. Is she a Virgo? Someone please let me know this sign. When reversed, the card advises that you avoid complacency and check out all financial arrangements. The most negative interpretation of the card is financial mismanagement and misleading advice, as a person in the reverse knight is stubborn and cannot see others' viewpoints. He is plotting and pessimistic, reluctant to take action, and unwilling to go beyond his comfort zone. He may tend to be materialistic and secretive. And an extremist, dishonest. I wonder if he's cheating on her. I should also mention before, I did get a little bit of infidelity. After I said, I don't see any cheating, then I got the, I think it was the 7 of something. I can't remember which card it was. It was the one about what you see not being real. I think Nate did cheat on Jeffree. I don't think he was who he portrayed himself to be, in the sense that I think he told Jeffree that he loved him, that he was into him, and I don't think he was as honest about that. I think he was seeing people on the side, and I think Nate may be dishonest now with this new girl, but I do see a baby. I do see a baby, and I do see It doesn't look like the relationship's going to end or anything. It looks like it's beginning with the new baby. So they're trying to start a family, or they're about to start a family. Okay, so this was if Nate and Jeffree are ever going to get back together. I think that answered it over there when I said Nate's about to have a baby, but let's look into this anyways. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles reversed. When reversed, the king is greedy and untrustworthy, so double check all financial agreements to ensure that there are no hidden couches. Debt is an interpretation of the reverse king, so turn the spotlight on your finances now to limit the damage of overspending. As a person, the reverse king is corrupt and may be involved in fraud or gambling. He is determined to win at any cost. Interesting. Let's do Five of Swords reversed. The Five of Swords reverse shows unnecessary conflict. You could become caught in the middle of another person's fight, and you may be the injured party through no fault of your own. This battle is not for good reason. Whoever initiates it has a selfish agenda. This person may be trying to cover up his or her incompetence at work, blaming others to deflect attention. Equally, the drama may be due to ego and a need to make a show of power. In this sense, it could be easier to extricate yourself because you know the battle is less personal. An additional meaning of the card is bullying and oppression. There's no shame in this. Rather, the card suggests finding an opportunity to expose the unfairness and to shift the balance of power. Okay, I think Jeffree's going to have some drama with some guy very soon, and I think Nate's going to be pulled into it. I wonder if Jeffree and this new guy, I don't know if they dated before or if they're about to date, or if it's, like, I don't know if this is brewing or if it's already in the works, like, to happen, or if it's just barely starting. But yeah, some guy's going to come out against Jeffree, and he's going to try to pull Nate into it, but Nate's not going to comment. Nate's not going to, like, fall into this. Let's see. Eight of Swords. That's so strange. Okay, hold on. Eight of Swords. And it's reversed. In the reverse position, much of that bright meaning applies, except that it is often accompanied by strong emotions, such as guilt, anger, and regret. It's likely you'll express these feelings in negative ways, however, because you are so frustrated. Try not to lash out on whoever's closest. As with all minor arcana cards, Eight of Swords shows a phase that will not last. Yeah, so someone's going to come out and say something about Jeffree and try to pull Nate into it, but Nate will not go into it. Nate does have some negative feelings, but he's never going to express them because they're not that deep, to be honest. He just feels like he was trapped, but it was his own doing. Jeffree never, from what I see, Jeffree never did anything to him that he would ever come out and say anything about, because Jeffree never did anything bad to him, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so I don't know. It looks like they could potentially become maybe friends in the future, because Nate is never going to turn on him, but some guy is. Some guy, it looks like a lover of Jeffree's comes out, because we got the Lover's card. So I don't know who this King of Pentacles is. Let me see if we can get the potential zodiac sign of who this could be. It might be an earth sign, because... Okay, so it could be either Aries, Taurus, or any earth sign. So Aries, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo could be. But that's interesting. So he's going to have some drama. So unfortunately, I don't know if the Queen of Swords was reversed or upright, because it fell. So I don't know if he comes out of this drama good or not. If you remember in the beginning of the video when I showed it, if it was upright, that means he comes out good. If it's reversed, it damages him. So just rewind and see whether it was upright or not, and you'll be able to tell what happens. But yeah, so gist of this reading was that Nate was never really in this for love. Jeffree song about Nate, and Nate looks to potentially be having a baby very soon with his new girlfriend. So that's everything. Oh, and Jeffree will be in a scandal very shortly, very soon with an ex-boyfriend. So that's all we have for now.